How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Alien 3, the unproduced screenplay by William Gibson. This is put out by Dark Horse Comics, and from 20th Century Fox Uncovered. So this is basically, for those of you who don't know, there's a very long road to the Alien 3 movie that we got, and several scripts are written that didn't get turned into anything. So if they wanted to, they could put out a few more of these. But this is the William Gibson version of the script, and William Gibson wrote the screenplay. Johnnie Christmas here adapted it into comics and actually did the art as well. Let me go ahead and open it up to the credits page, you know, credit where credit is due and whatnot. Can you read that? There's the credits, but yeah, William Gibson, he did the script. He didn't actually write the comic version. Well, he wrote the script that the comic version is based on, but then when you write a comic version, you have to put all the dialogue and decide all the boxes and whatnot. But anyway, there's the credits, and if you can see down at the bottom, that's really small writing. The copyright information lists this as William Gibson's Alien 3. So that's the official title for it, even though the front says Alien 3, the unproduced screenplay, and then list William Gibson in the credits. Anyway, before we get in, let's look at the covers. Alien 3 with the egg. And on the back, they have a guy with the face hugger. They all have a second cover on the back, a little sideways thing, which is great. Instead of an ad, you get another cover. Have to really thank them for that. It's cool to see more art. Issue 2, you get Bishop all ripped in half there. And then a DNA strand on the back. Issue 3, the alien busting through some glass. And on the back of this one, you get a little alien clone being grown in a lab. And issue 4, you get the alien ripping through a face. And on the back, you get two people sealed in alien resin, and they actually call it alien resin in this one, which is its official name. They don't just call it goo, which is great. And then you get issue 5, the last one. There's only 5 issues in the set. An alien picking up a lady. And on the back, Bishop going up a ladder. That'll be in the movie or the book later on. So, cool covers. Let's jump in and see what this story is about. The ship, the Sulaco, that was from Aliens, you can see they're all sleeping in there. The ship gets rerouted, and it goes through UPP space. The UPP is another faction in deep space that is at odds with Weyland-Yutani, and none of their ships were supposed to go through their quadrants. Now, because it's in their space, they use this as an excuse to board their ship. And when they board their ship, they find Bishop there, and he's got a sample of alien DNA that has grown into an egg, and he's all ripped in half there. And of course, you see an opened alien egg, and what image do you think comes after the alien egg? But if I can turn the page, the classic jumping onto your face hugger scene. But anyway, so after the face hugger, the UPP people, the United Progressive Peoples, they grab the top half of Bishop's body and get out of there. So you now have, they leave the guy at the face hugger, so you're gonna have an alien aboard the old ship, and both the UPP and Weyland-Yutani are going to each have a piece of Bishop. When they recover the ship, Weyland-Yutani gets Bishop's legs, and the UPP gets the top half of Bishop there. Now, even though they say it's an accident, the ship totally intentionally went to UPP space to get to Anchor Point quicker. Anchor Point is a Deep Space Nine style deep space satellite. There's a picture of it, or not satellite, but a base. It's for science. And you get these two characters that show up from Weyland-Yutani, higher-ups, and they basically cause the ship to go there to get it faster. And there, of course, even though this is, as the guy who in charge wants to remind them, just a scientific base, they say, no, you're much more militaristic now. We're going to be studying these samples. Now, when they open up, and here's going to be one thing that gets people about this comic. Let me find the right page. Yeah, so they go in and they wake up Ripley, who is quick to want to defend Newt, so she attacks them, and they drug her to knock her out, and she's knocked out for the rest of the movie. Now, obviously, spoilers for Alien 3, she's knocked out for the rest of the movie, but she's not dead, so I guess technically the better option there. But yeah, this movie does feature Bishop, Hicks, Newt, and Ripley. Now, Ripley and Newt are kind of sidelined. I think they're putting them in a position for Alien 4. So, yeah, it's not great that they're not heavily featured, but you know what? They're not dead, so it's a better alternative. But anyway, they recover the alien samples from Bishop, and there's essentially the main character, one of the scientists, named Spence, this lady who worked really hard to be a scientist, but then, instead of getting to do science in deep space for Weyland-Yutani, now she's having to do research on this alien. And there's Newt, and she's got big hair whenever they draw her, and she's looking over unconscious Ripley. And I'll do a spoiler section. I'll talk more about Ripley and stuff. And so there's there's lots of sort of political stuff in the first one. You get it's kind of Cold War. They each get half a bishop. Here's Weyland-Yutani with Bishop's legs. And then, you get the politics of this is a station that should be for science, but now it's for weapons. And it gets to be taunt in the story in that way rather than horror, and how all the different people respond to the change, and your new main character there. But yeah, here's a shot, the eco module with the lady from Weyland-Yutani and Newt there, and your new main character. And it's cool to see this little eco module. That's fun. But anyway, each of them from the DNA begin to clone their own aliens. So you have these aliens here plus the one that's aboard the Sulaco, and they're each growing them, and that's that's going to end up really fun there. And one thing I like is they talk about the aliens' makeup and how it works, and they talk about how the aliens' DNA is rapidly able to change and shift and do new things, which is why it was able to grow an egg inside a bishop. But also this does mean that, yes, these aliens that they clone are going to be a new type of alien that you haven't seen before, and I'll get to that in the spoiler section. But they do things like they actually say alien resin in this, and they do confirm that given enough resources, a drone can become an alien queen, which had been theorized in some of the books, but I don't know if we ever had it confirmed, but they say it here. But yeah, a new alien. Anyway, before I go into the spoiler section, and you know what, I didn't show too much action. That's because you pretty much get the two halves. The first half is, you know, tension amongst people, the two sides, UPP versus Weyland-Yutani, United Progressive Peoples. And then the back half is all alien stuff, and that's where the spoilers are, so I haven't showed you as much of that. But yeah, it's a tense first half in one way, and then a tense second half in the other, although not much horror in the beginning. And of course, you do get Newt and Ripley kind of being sidelined and pushed into Alien 4, if we ever got William Gibson's Alien 4. But I think this would be kind of like a Day of the Dead, you know, the Night of the Living Dead series, one that gets kind of underlooked at first. People are like, oh, it's not as good, but then over time it would kind of develop a cult following. And I mentioned, you know, not as much horror in the beginning, and not as much Ripley, and not too much Newt. But I think if people got this, they might have complained, but they wouldn't have known how bad the actual Alien 3 would have been. They wouldn't know the bullet they dodged. But yeah, it's pretty good. Not as good as the first two, but still really fun and way better than what we actually got. And I'm glad that 20th Century Fox Uncovered is giving us this stuff. I love to read alternate versions of movie scripts, and, you know, movies that we never got, which I'd love to see more of this, and we actually are. They're doing a release of the original draft of Alien, the Dan O'Bannon original script. So that is out. The first issue of that is out now. And if you want to pick this one up, I think the hardcover is out. I don't know if the paperback's out yet, but the hardcover is out if you want to pick them up all at once in a nice package. That being said, we're going to do a spoiler section now. So if you haven't read this or don't want it spoiled for you, go ahead and pause the video and read the comic. But let's go into the spoiler section. So in the story, Ripley and Newt kind of off to the side, but Newt gives Ripley her address on Earth. She's going to be put in an escape pod, well, not an escape pod, a ship, and sent to go see her grandparents on Earth, who she only ever met as a little baby and doesn't really know them. Ripley's still asleep. She stays asleep the whole episode, but they put her in an escape pod and give her this paper that that Newt gave her, so they can meet up later. And this really does feel like they're trying to set up something for Alien 4, so they kind of would have, if this had happened, would have established kind of a larger but rotating cast of characters in the Alien universe, kind of like what Resident Evil does. And yeah, people would have been upset they didn't get as much Ripley and Newt, but I think that's what episode 4 would have been. And hey, even though it's probably just a concept, if they want to put out William Gibson's Alien 4, I will I will read that. So that's Ripley. The other thing I wanted to discuss in the spoiler section is the new Alien. So one of the clone tubes breaks, and some of the people get exposed to the new Alien, and it, you know, makes them all angry. And then, rather than a chest burster, this is, I guess you'd call it a skin burster, so it starts to bulge your flesh out and then rip right through you. Look at that. So it also, there you go, there's a face exploding. But it also has a bigger bulb on the back, and you can see through the faceplate, and you see a skull underneath with eyes. You don't see it too much in this panel, but it does have red glowing eyes, little lights and whatnot. And I had seen this alien before as, like, you know, merchandise, as, you know, like an alternate alien. and I didn't know that it was actually from an unproduced Alien. So yeah, I'd seen this guy around his toys and whatnot, but yeah, I didn't know it was actually from something. But yeah, I always kind of wondered, do aliens have eyes? Like, is it just this alien, or do all aliens have, like, their faces kind of like sunglasses where we can't see their eyes, but they can see through it? I don't know. Like, it's kind of odd, like, how do aliens find their way around? But yeah, a cool, not a chest burster, but a flesh burster. There's the alien resin shot. One thing I do like, though, and keep in mind we're in the spoiler section, they go to destroy the alien clones, and they have Bishop in charge of the laboratory. They're like, we gotta destroy the alien clones, and Bishop's like, oh, I wish you hadn't come here, because I was gonna do that myself, and then it'd be all me taking heat from the company. I do like, you think Bishop's gonna be bad, but he's actually good, and he's one step ahead of it. But one thing I do like with the new Alien is they actually have it meet the old Alien here. There's the new Alien and the old Alien, and you think they would have, because they do fight, you think they would have the new Alien win because he's a new cool alien. But no, he gets ripped in half. I have to admit I was really rooting for the old Alien. But yeah, it's kind of fun. Normally movies are like, look, you like the cool new one, right? But they kind of knew that people like the classic, and he rips them in half, and that was fun. But anyway, overall, a really fun story. I don't normally do spoiler sections on here, but I had to talk about those things. Anyway, I do a comic a week on this channel. Stick around for more comics, and I'm actually doing, should be out tomorrow, but my Alien Blu-ray collection. Anyway, to everyone who's watched this far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll see you guys again very, very soon, and I'll have a relevant playlist on the bottom there. Anyway, have a good day.